Hey folks, Nathan here from Star Wars Beyond the Films and the Star Wars Gaming Podcast Cloud City Casino, both of which you can find at StarWarsReport.com. Bring your look here at some more of the X-Wing 2nd Edition game components as they have been released here recently. This time we're looking at the Star Wars X-Wing 2nd Edition Galactic Empire Conversion Kit, which is going to allow you to use a bunch of your 1st Edition X-Wing ships for the Empire with the 2nd Edition, or 2.0. You, of course, have a quick little rulebook here with information about the components, what to do with them. Ships like the Punisher have been reclassified in terms of size, so we have 4 medium bases, but not the entire pegs. We've got those weird little conversion pegs that let you use a regular old large base peg and then put one of these on it to then plug it into a ship that originally had a small peg hole. Now, of course, the question is, what do you get with this? Well, it is a $50 product, but you're going to wind up with enough maneuver dials to field 2 Alpha Class Star Wings, 2 Lambda Class Shuttles, 2 TIE Advanced, 2 TIE Defender, 2 TIE Phantom, and 2 TIE Punisher, and then 3 each of the Inquisitor's TIE, TIE Aggressor, TIE Bomber, TIE Interceptor, and TIE Striker, along with the VT-49 Decimator, and then 4 regular TIE Fighters, or TIE LN fighters, all out of this one package, if you have them from 1.0. I would note here, by the way, there appears to be an issue with those plastic bases and pegs, because according to this, there's only supposed to be 2 of each, and yet we got 4 of each. As was the case with the Rebel Alliance conversion kit, we do have a bunch of dial ID tokens here in case you have ships that didn't come with them from the previous incarnation of the game. There are a total of 21 of these dial ID tokens. Looking at tokens that are not ship tokens or dial ID tokens in this case, we have quite a few. We have 4 focus tokens. We have 2 reinforce. Again, they can do fore or aft. They're double-sided. There are 2 of those. 4 stress tokens, 3 disarm tokens, 2 jam tokens, 3 tractor tokens, and 1 of that new type of token, okay, here called the calculate token. 10 of the new charge tokens, red on one side, orange on the other. 6 of the new force charge tokens, purple on one side, red on the other. 4 of the cloak tokens, proof of purchase, of course. 4 small ship single turret arc indicators, and then 2 of the medium-sized ship double turret arc indicators, and then 2 condition tokens with their now regular-sized condition cards for hunted and listening device. Then we have our actual ship tokens. Notice there we have a total of 4 of the large type for the Decimator and the Lambda Class Shuttle, 2 of the medium type, of course those are for the Punisher now that it's switched sizes, now there is a medium size, and then tons and tons of small ones here, particularly for that TIE LN fighter, quite a few for that one. I would note here that the regular component list says there are 48 of these tokens, but just like with the Rebel Alliance conversion kit, there's a little packet that has this card in it that says we've also got 4 new ship cards and 4 new small ship tokens for these characters who weren't previously on the conversion kit component list. And for each of those, Del Meeko, Gideon Hask, Sane Marana from Inferno Squad, and Ved Falso, you notice that those are unusual in that it's got the same pilot on both sides, which means that adding those 4 pilots does mean 4 more tokens, bringing the total to 52. Then, of course, we have our maneuver dials, and I did notice something odd with the list that's found on the back of the package and the actual maneuver dials that we get. These are what actually are going to determine what we can field during play. So again, we have 2 each of the TIE Advanced X1, or by 1 as opposed to V1, of the Punisher. We'll skip the Alpha Class Starwing for now. The TIE Defender, the Lambda Class Shuttle, the TIE Punisher. Then we get into the 3s with TIE Advanced V1, which is the Inquisitor's TIE, the Striker, the Bomber, the Aggressor, and the Interceptor, all with 3. Regular TIE Fighter there with 4. But the package says you're supposed to get 2 for Alpha Class Starwing and 3 for the Decimator. The actual pieces inside the box are reversed. You get 3 for the Alpha Class Starwing, but only 2 for the Decimator. let's talk upgrades. We start with our talent upgrades, and we have 3 each of quite a few, including Crack Shot, Intimidation, Juke, Outmaneuver, Predator, Ruthless, and Trick Shot. Then 2 each of Swarm Tactics, Saturation Salvo, Marksmanship, Expert Handling, Elusive, Debris Gambit, and Daredevil. Then 1 each of Lone Wolf and Squad Leader. Then for sensor upgrades, we have 2 each of Advanced Sensors, Collision Detector, Fire Control System, and Trajectory Simulator. Then for cannon upgrades, 2 each again of Heavy Laser Cannon, Ion Cannon, Jamming Beam, and Tractor Beam. And then for turret upgrades, 2 each of Dorsal Turret and Ion Cannon Turret. That brings us to torpedo and missile upgrades, 3 each of all of these. For torpedoes, we have Advanced Proton Torpedoes, Ion Torpedoes, and Proton Torpedoes. For missiles, we have Barrage Rockets, Cluster Missiles, Concussion Missiles, Homing Missiles, Ion Missiles, and Proton Rockets. As for bomb upgrade cards, we have 3 each of all except for Bomblet Generator. Then for the rest, we have Conner Nets, Proton Bomb, Proximity Mines, and Seismic Charges. We only have 2 titles. In this case, we have the Dauntless and ST-321. And then we have 2 sets of 3 configuration cards, all for the Alpha Class Starwing. This is the OS-1 Arsenal loadout and the XG-1 Assault configuration. Then we toss some warm bodies or droids into the ships with our crew and our gunners. For crew, we have 1 each of Admiral Sloan, Agent Kallus, Grand Moff Tarkin, Minister Tua, Sienna Ree, Moff Jerjerrod, Darth Vader, Seventh Sister, Emperor Palpatine, Grand Inquisitor, and Informant, who's not a single character per se, but is unique. Then we have 2 each of the more generic crew members, Tactical Officer, Seasoned Navigator, Perceptive Co-Pilot, Novice Technician, G&K Gonk Droid, and Freelance Slicer. Then for our gunners, we have 1 who is unique, the 5th brother. The rest are generic, and we get 2 each, Hotshot Gunner, Skilled Bombardier, and Veteran Turret Gunner. Then for the last of our upgrades, it's modifications, 2 of each. Ablative Plating, Electronic Baffle, Munitions Failsafe, Static Discharge Vanes, Tactical Scrambler, Stealth Device, Shield Upgrade, Hull Upgrade, and Advanced Slam. Now as we start looking at pilots with our ship cards, we'll start with that extra little pack that they toss in there. That one includes Sane Marana, Del Meeko, and Gideon Hask, all for the TIE LN, or regular TIE fighter. And then Ved Falso, or Foslo, I always say Falso for some reason, Ved Foslo is for the TIE Advanced X1, the Darth Vader TIE Advanced, not the Inquisitor one. As for the ones that are on the regular component list, we start with 16 TIE LN, or TIE Fighter pilots. Our unique ones, Mauler Mythal, Howl Runner, Scourge, Scutu, and Wampa. Then 4 each of Black Squadron Ace, Obsidian Squadron Pilot, and Academy Pilot. Then for the TIE Advanced X1, or By One I used to call it, 3 unique pilots, Darth Vader, Merrick Steele, and Zertik Strom. And then 2 each of our generics, Storm Squadron Ace and Tempest Squadron Pilot. Continuing on then to the Grand Inquisitor's TIE, the TIE Advanced V1. We have 2 unique, Grand Inquisitor and Seventh Sister, 3 each of Baron of the Empire, and 3 each of Inquisitor. Then for the TIE Interceptor, we have 2 unique, Soontirfel and Tur Finir, and then 2 each of Saber Squadron Ace and Alpha Squadron Pilot. Then for the TIE Bomber, we have 4 unique, Tomax Bryn, Captain Jonas, Major Reimer, and Deathfire. Then 3 each of our generics, Gamma Squadron Ace and Scimitar Squadron Pilot. Then for the TIE Striker, 3 unique, Duchess, Countdown, and Pure Sabacc. And then 3 each of our generics, Black Squadron Scout and Planetary Sentinel. Then for the TIE Defender, 3 unique, Rexler Brath, Colonel Vessery, and Countess Ryad. then 2 each of our generics, Onyx Squadron Ace, and Delta Squadron Pilot. Then for the TIE Aggressor, 2 unique, Lieutenant Kestel and Double Edge, then 2 each of our generics, Onyx Squadron Scout, and Sinar Specialist. And that, of course, brings us to the last of the ship cards. For the TIE Phantom, we have 2 unique Whisper and Echo and 2 each of our generics, Sigma Squadron Ace and Imdar Test Pilot. For the Alpha Class Star Wing, very similar, 2 unique, Major Vendor and Lieutenant Karsabi, 2 each of the generics, Rose Squadron Pilot and New Squadron Pilot. Then with really the least of these, we have the TIE Punisher with 2 unique, Redline and Death Rain, and just 2 of 1 generic, Cutlass Squadron Pilot. For the Lambda Class Shuttle, a bit of an imbalance here. We have 3 unique and 1 generic. The 3 unique are Captain Kagi, Colonel Jindon, and Lieutenant Sai. The 1 generic, Omicron Group Pilot. And finally, the Decimator with 2 unique and 2 generic of the same card. Captain Daikun, Rear Admiral Chirano, and then 2 each of Patrol Leader. And yeah, that guy could be Oikun. I have a really hard time figuring out whether that's a D or an O, so I just kind of gave up a long time ago. So there you have it, folks, the Galactic Empire Conversion Kit contents for X-Wing 2nd Edition or X-Wing 2.0. If you got a lot of 1.0 stuff laying around, this would be a good way to bring your Imperial ships into the new game without having to repurchase all of them when they become available.